excitement at Upton Park. Mark Pembridge rattled Ludek McCloskey's woodwork. That was unlucky. Billy Bonds probably won't feel the same about West Ham's best chance. George Paris got 2 in the Makita 2 weeks ago. He's probably still wondering how he missed that one.
Road, where Kevin Gallagher made the most of some poor defending to give Coventry an early lead. Luton's problems soon got worse. Striker Sean Farrell sent off for elbowing Trevor Peake after just 18 minutes. So Luton in trouble, under pressure and out of luck as Gallagher made it 2-0. And just before half-time, Robert Rosario scored his first goal since joining Coventry from Norwich. So 3-0. From there on, it was a matter of how many Coventry would get. David Smith made it 4. And substitute Paul Furlong, who was playing for non-league Enfield last season, completed the scoring. 5-0.
Well, Liverpool never liked the plastic at Kenilworth Road. The grass and the away supporters might have been reinstalled, but it was another pretty miserable afternoon for Graham Souness. Steve McManaman does continue to sparkle, but even he couldn't manage to get the ball past Alec Chamberlain. The closest Liverpool came just before the finish. Bruce Gorbelow's hefty goal kick, and Ronnie Rosenthal on as a late substitute. Rosenthal getting past the Luton defence, past Alec Chamberlain, but not past Graham Rodger, who hooked it out right on the line. But the real talking point came after 52 minutes when Liverpool were reduced to 10 men. A bit of argy-bargy after Luton were awarded a free kick. Steve McMahon it is who clashes with Philip Gray. Gray slumping to the turf. McMahon claiming there was no contact. The referee John Walls consulted a linesman, and McMahon out for so long with a knee injury was shown the red card. No John Barnes for Liverpool. They can ill afford Steve McMahon's suspension for that incident.
Took heart from the 3-1 defeat at Villa Park on Saturday. He said the spirit was good. It was good for a while last night after Paul Merson punished Luton's defensive frailty. Even then, Brian Steen, brought back to Luton by his old boss, might have opened their account for the season. Arsenal were in rampaging mood as the second half started. Alan Smith, as he so often does, getting his boot to the ball fractionally ahead of everyone else. 2-0, and Arsenal's nightmarish start to the season seemed to be behind them. Smith, indeed, should have made it 3 soon afterwards. And then the mood changed. Anders Limpar, the little Swede who played such a big part in Arsenal's championship triumph, lost his head and his part in the match when he flung an arm at Mark Pembridge, the Luton number 10. Arsenal would have to get through the last 35 minutes with 10 men. There were a couple of tense moments, but it's hard to see who's going to score Luton's goals. How they miss Lars Elstrup and Ian Dowie. Arsenal, though, at the 4th time of trying, have rediscovered the art of winning.
Against Luton at the Bridge.
Well, it took you-know-who just 19 minutes to put himself in the Chelsea good books. Vinnie Jones with the header that sent Graham Lasso in for his first of the season. And it was a soft blue shuffle for Chelsea and Ian Porterfield after that. Vinnie's special qualities not really required. Kevin Wilson with the pass that set up Andy Townsend for his second in a week. And something of a replica just before the break. Kerry Dixon, too strong and too quick for Graham Rodger. Just after half-time, the low points of Chelsea's afternoon and the highlights of David Pleat's season. Kevin Hitchcock fumbling Sean Farrell's cross, and the former Spur Philip Gray notching Luton's first goal in 5 games. But Chelsea eased onto the accelerator pedal again to stretch that lead back to 3. Dixon to Dennis Wise. Wise hit the bar with a late penalty, but nothing was going to ruin Chelsea or Vinnie's afternoon.
Luton and Southampton, two clubs struggling so far this season and both lacking inspiration in the first half an hour tonight. But Kenilworth Road then burst into life when Glenn Cockrell was tripped by David Priest for a penalty. And Matthew Letitia put Southampton ahead. But just 2 minutes later, Luton were level. Their first real shot of the game coming up here. And it's Philip Gray, scorer of Luton's only other goal this season, making it 1-1. And there was more drama to come before half-time. From the long ball forward, Gray pulled back by Richard Hall. A professional foul according to referee Arthur Smith, and Hall was sent off. Southampton were unhappy and soon in trouble. From the free kick, Luton went ahead. Richard Harvey with a fine shot from outside the box. 2-1, that's how it stayed. All the action crammed into a frantic 10 minutes. A welcome first win for Luton.
Just over 3,000 fans turned up at Selhurst Park, the lowest First Division crowd since records began. And it was Wimbledon who went ahead. Alan Cork knocking it down, and Andy Clark the scorer. The Dons won up after 23 minutes. It was a pretty one-sided affair, although it wasn't until 66 minutes that Vaughan Ryan's free kick was deflected past Alec Chamberlain in the Luton goal for Wimbledon's second. That's only Ryan's second league goal. But he didn't have to wait long for his third. Warren Barton's free kick floated into the box. Ryan completely unmarked to head in Wimbledon's third of the day.
Town brought back one of their old boys, Mick Harford, from Derby to try and bolster their attack. And David Fleet also giving a debut to Steve Thompson, signed from Bolton in midweek, to get things going in midfield for the struggling Hatters. Harford's chip into the box, almost setting up the perfect start for Luton. A good effort from David Priest, but not good enough. The woodwork denying him and Luton. Oldham, without an away win this season, must have fancied their chances of putting that right when Brian Kilcline flicked on for Ian Marshall to score. But Oldham hadn't bargained for Harford, who was just about to change all that. 5 minutes from time, and Harford's side puts the equaliser. The Luton fans looked happy enough with that. But there was more to come from Harford. With the game in injury time now, the big striker conjured a terrific winner. How about that? Harford's late show getting Luton back to winning ways.
Tuesday, Luton Town, their victims at Kenilworth Road. A solitary goal prompted by substitute Ian Holloway and scored by skipper Simon Barker early in the second half. Keeper Alex Chamberlain's had better moments this season.
More than 46,000 fans at Old Trafford, the biggest crowd of the season so far, and they got exactly what they came to see. Good build-up from Brian Robson and Mark Hughes, and Paul Ince with a tap-in to put United in front after 23 minutes. But it's just after the hour when United get their second. The corner comes over. The Luton number 3, Mark Pembridge, is judged to have handled. He's also booked for his troubles. No problems for Steve Bruce, United's spot kick expert. That's his second of the season. Brian McClare on as a substitute, then gets 2 in 4 minutes for United. The Scotsman starts a neat 1-2 with teenager Ryan Giggs. His shot too hot to handle for Alec Chamberlain. It was Robson who got the ball rolling for United's fourth. He finds Giggs out on the right, and the youngster was giving the Luton defence a torrid afternoon. Chamberlain blocks Mark Hughes' header. There's not too much you can do about McClare, who gets his second of the match. United's fifth beginning and ending with Hughes. He sprays the ball out to the left, where McClare is waiting. Time for McClare to look up and judge his cross, picking out Hughes, whose header gives Chamberlain no chance. Luton without a point now on their last 16 trips to Old Trafford.
A shock against Birmingham as the third division leaders went ahead after just 3 minutes. The hard work from Nigel Gleghorn and Ian Rogerson heading past Alec Chamberlain. It wasn't until the second half that Luton worked their way back into the match. After Matthew Jackson had created the opening with a fine cross, Philip Gray made no mistake at the far post. 1-1. There may be 2 divisions separating the two sides, but Luton knew they faced a tough time against Birmingham. They were behind again on the hour. Nigel Gleghorn's goal this time. The introduction of substitute Kurt Nogan rescued Luton the second time. John Dreher's cross missed by Mick Harford, but met with a firm header by Nogan. Luton 2, Birmingham 2.